Okay. Hello, hello. We're gonna see how this is going. My equipment's been updated, so hopefully live is... Hello there. I can't see... One sec, it's a little blurry. Let me go into my chat. Sexy Gina. Hey, sexy. Can I get a reading? Absolutely. Okay, so welcome to the live stream. I'm getting a little set up here, but I'll show you how we do it over here at Mind Over Mania. I can't pin comments because this is via Restream because I'm streaming on multiple platforms. However, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Yeah, for sure. So here is how you will get a reading. Basically what you do is you sign up on Hypesy, you put your name, and you get the free reading if you want a one-card pull for your question, and then we'll get it on the queue. So, but you have to do that because that's how I track who's ever coming up next. Okay? Oh, alright, let's go ahead and give me a second, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hope you guys are all having a good Friday. My name is Christian, for those of you that don't know me, or Chris. I'm a professional tarot reader, mental health advocate, all that good stuff. I'm just now getting to my new setup, so yeah, and I appreciate seeing you guys. I know there's a lot going on, so as usual, I'm going to start the live stream off with a collective message, which will be about like 15 minutes, and then afterwards I'm going to go ahead and get into the personals. Just a refresher reminder to all the new people that are hopping in the live stream. First of all, hi, hello. But how this works is I now use a platform called Hypesy, which what you do is you go ahead and go onto the link, and that's how you get in the queue, okay? Because there's a bot that's going to come in and it's going to say who's up next, and I can actually keep track of yins. Because live streams can get really crazy when I don't have a list and a queue of who's up next to the reading. If you would like to purchase a reading, I do have options for that as well for deeper dives, but everyone does get a one free card pull, which it's basically a one card pull. I'll answer your question for a couple seconds, and then y'all can, you know, have at it. And we just hang out and have a good time. That's usually how the vibe goes over here. So, like I said, please make sure you sign up on Hypesy, and you go ahead and get on the queue that way. Otherwise, I won't be able to... Okay, so it should be working now, so you should be able to sign up. But as I said, I typically start off the live stream with a collective message. And so that'll be... We'll do 10 minutes, because I know there's a lot going on. Right now in the world, there's a lot of anxious people, and there's a lot of things happening, so we're going to go ahead and pull some cards, not necessarily about the conflict, but just what the collective needs to know. And let me know if you guys have any issues with Hypesy and signing up, because right now my queue does not have anybody signed up. So, okay, alright, let's go ahead and get started with the collective message for you guys. Yay! Okay. Oh my gosh. Also, you may see my cat in the background doing crazy things. I'm going to try to keep her contained, but just warning you, there may be a moose alert happening at some point. Oh, I said her name. She's coming over. She's going to introduce herself. Come here, Moose. Do you want to tell everybody hi? You want to say hi to the peoples? Ooh. Everybody say hi to Moose. Hi there, sweetie. Hi. She looks so confused. That's so funny. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put her out of my room for a second, and then I will get started with the collective reading. Okay, love. Bye-bye for now. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and pull some cards on... I really should get an actual tarot deck, because right now I have a bunch of oracle card decks. I've been doing, like, a lot of love readings lately, so... Let me... Oh, I know which one. Okay. Alright, I love it. It's the Cute Ghost Tarot. It's super cute. And I bought it actually at the Haunted Doll Museum in San Antonio, which that was a pretty cool experience. Me and a friend of mine who's a medium, we did some channeling there, and we had a very interesting experience. So, okay. Let's go ahead. And do that. Okay. Alright. Please, Spirit, what does the collective need to know right now? What kind of messages does the collective need to know? For some reason I'm hearing like somebody needs to dance more. Ooh. Did y'all see that? That, like, snuck in there. Okay. See, this is why I want 2 cameras, so I can go back and forth, because when I'm pulling these cards, the weirdest things happen, and I always feel like with my pick-a-card videos, they have a tendency to not capture the magic when some of that stuff happens. Okay. I think that's good from Spirit for now. Okay, great. Alright, hi everybody, just letting y'all know I'm doing a collective message. It's going to be about 10 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the personal readings. Please make sure that you submit your tarot reading request in the link on the chat. Okay? Alright, so the first card we got, we've got Angel, Spiritual Guidance, Protection from Harm. Okay. We have Wealth. We have You Make Me Want to Be a Better Person. I Love You Just the Way That You Are. My soul has always remembered you. My mind is just trying to catch up. Sexual thoughts of you, and I can't stop thinking about it. Oh, okay, somebody's spicy tonight. I wish I could be there for you. Aww. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, so right off the bat, I feel like the energy going on with this collective, just even seeing the way the cards are kind of flowing right now, is I feel like a lot of you guys are feeling a bit helpless right now, or there's a lot of, like, help the helper energy. You know what I mean? Where you guys are either helping other people, or you're worried about somebody, or you're trying to, like, take care of something. You're trying to close off business with either a specific person, or there's just an energy of you don't know how to handle a specific situation. With Angel and Wealth, though, this is kind of a reminder from Spirit that's kind of reminding you to take a look back and look around at what you have right now, that at the end of the day, even though maybe it feels like you don't have a lot, you really do have more than what you're maybe considering as wealth. You know, for example, maybe if you have good health, if you have good friends, if you have access to healthcare, there's just a lot of things that we take for granted every day that Spirit's kind of reminding you to say, hey, you are wealthy where you're at, and there is more wealth to come. But with this Angel card, what really strikes me is between that card and then all the other cards, it just feels like there's a lot of collective energy of, like, you're being missed by people, but you're also missing opportunities to go be with someone that you're supposed to be with. You know what I mean? Either maybe because you're hung up on somebody in the past, or there's a lot of, like, sexual frustration. I wish I could be there from you. It kind of feels like in this collective, there's a specific strain of needing to take charge in your decisions with love, as well as allowing yourself to remember what your soul is. Because if you're not standing in your own truth and in your own soul space and with your soul tribe, then you're never going to recognize who your soulmate actually is. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you're pretending to be somebody and you don't actually really fully know who that is, and being in your truth, and that feels uncomfortable to you, then you're always going to attract karmics. You're always going to attract other people. And here's the thing with karmics too. That term is thrown around a lot in spiritual community, and a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what karmic partners are about, because karma can be cleared out and have different connotations when it comes to relationships, because some karma can be good karma, but karma at the end of the day still needs paid, and lessons need to be learned, and not all lessons are bad. You know, there's kind of like this energy of needing to, as I said, take charge of your situation so that way you can get the outcome that you desire, and so that way you can grow. You know, spirituality is supposed to help you grow into the person you want to be, or maybe not, but who you need to be, too. Let's get into the rest of the cards. Just a reminder to everybody, I am on the collective message. It's about 10 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the individual readings. Please check out the link in the description as well as in the chat for the Hypesy link, where that's how I'm taking all of my requests. So that way it has a queue and everybody can be read one at a time. Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, this same card, okay, keeps wanting to pop out, and it doesn't. It's sneaking. All right, so we've got blocked sacral chakra. Maybe experiencing lack of energy, creativity, or feeling manipulative. Unblock your second chakra. Balance your sacral chakra for optimal creativity, pleasure, emotional expression using crystals or by tapping into your creative side. That ties a lot with this, like, sexual thoughts, where it's almost like y'all are projecting a fantasy either onto an ideal situation, and it doesn't really seem to have anything to do with your person. Even if you are sexually attracted to somebody, sexual energy and creative energy are the exact same thing, and there is so much power with that. And one thing I've always told people, because this is something I learned both in therapy and in other areas of spirituality, since creative energy and sexual energy are the same, if you are feeling yourself being a bit frustrated, not having a partner, or wanting to have, like, that much better experience, do something creative. You know, go paint something, go write a poem, do something with that energy to help you feel unstuck. And it has to not be just like, okay, I did, like, some coloring today. I mean, like, that's a good start, but it's got to be something that, like, you create, like something you pull out from yourself. So that could literally be making a meal, or making a garden, decorating something. You know, there's so many different ways to use that energy and unlock it, so that way you can really tap in. Because a lot of us, if you're having sex that is very checked out and distorted, you're not going to be making the best use of this energy. All right, we've got being a copy. Okay, so these cards are all blockages, mind you, so just letting you know. Being a copy. Copying successful people won't... Oh, copying successful people can backfire and won't set you apart. Find what makes you unique and discover the genius that resides in you, because success comes from fierce originality, not imitation. Ooh, that's a message for somebody. Basically, at first I was okay, so there's like a mixed message in here, because part of me is feeling that, yes, you can go and copy what a successful person's doing to an extent, right? So, for example, if you're like, oh, this person's really popular on YouTube, or this person's really good at blank, and they're making a bunch of money doing this. Well, the problem with copying everything they do is you're not using your own unique energy, right? So think of yourself as the original creator and the source of your own value, right? If you are trying to imitate something that's not authentic to you, then even if you have the best setup in the world, if you don't have that ability to draw people in naturally, it's not going to work, right? And I see this time and time again with folks, because just because some other famous person did it, it really stands out when you don't actually have that. It's kind of like someone going into a field and they just watched a couple YouTube videos and they're acting like an expert, when really they're not. You know, if they don't have that professional experience, then it's very clear to everybody who's really passionate about something that you don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah. Don't be afraid of being an individual. And this success is also not just about work and wealth. This could also literally just be about relationships too. Because I know we all want to have like the best relationship out there and we want to be successful in it, but watching a couple of YouTube videos and then trying to act and behave like what other people are doing is not going to attract your true partner, because you're not in your truth. We have undiscovered talents. There are some hidden talents that you possess that you haven't discovered. Look into your past and think of all the things you were good at as a child. Even if these skills seem useless now, they could easily still be talents. Ooh, interesting. So maybe some of you guys really haven't tapped deeper into your spirituality and your spiritual truths. I know from my audience, I've been doing this for a couple years, and a bunch of y'all that come up and stick around, like, first of all, I just want to say I love you guys, and also, too, though, you guys are so talented and have so much, like, spark and life in you, and I think being able to remind yourself that you have it, it's really easy being an adult to get detached and mangled up in all of life's messiness, but Spirit's asking you to come back to your original self and really start uncovering that truth, because just because you're an adult doesn't mean that your youth goes away. It only goes away if you allow other things to take away from that energy. All right, this is sacred stuff. This is you. Only you can create a painting or a book or a poem or a song or any other, or a meal the way you do. Okay? And being able to own that it doesn't have to be social media friendly. It doesn't have to be worth a bunch of money. Like, forget all that shit. I know that we're trying to all capitalize on our gifts, but honestly, that's not what life is about, and detangling from that is really important to getting back to yourself, okay? We have lack of specificity, have set very vague goals that are hard to visualize and hard to attain. Give your mind some time to process everything that crosses your field of vision so you can set a clear intention for what you manifest. Okay, that makes a whole lot of sense, so especially for those of y'all that are dating right now, you can't just say, I want a soulmate. Okay, do you want a person that you can hang out with? Do you want a life partner? Do you want, what do you want? And one of the problems that comes with romantic relationships and partnerships is we tend to externalize things to our partner that they're going to take care of all the stuff that I can't take care of myself. Instead of being very clear to say, I want a partner who probably works this type of lifestyle, right? Because, for example, if you want someone who has a stable 9-to-5 job, that is a particular lifestyle versus dating someone who travels for a living. Do you want someone who is more emotionally open, or do you want someone who's a better financial provider? You know what I mean? Trying to make those very specific requests from the universe will help expose what is meant for you and what's not, And then also, too, same with, a job, sometimes, if you're trying to find, your dream career or your way and path in life, sometimes you just got to set a goal. You know what I mean? You can't just say, all right, I'm going to start working out. Doesn't work like that, because you're going to immediately, even after trying 2 to 3 times, you're going to get back to that old cycle, right? Start with, I'm going to run once a week. Then I'm going to increase to 2 times a week. And then my goal is to either lose this amount of weight or to run this amount of distance. Boom. So that way you can measure it. And this is something, too, if you like Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. Your ability to measure shows progress, and it's a lot easier to keep on top of things and start getting momentum. Yeah, that really helps with discipline and stuff. Okay, so we've got 3 of coins. Oh, let's see, look. There's also creativity here, so maybe there's collaborating with others in a project as well. So for example, maybe if you struggle to get started on a project or something, do it as a group, or do work study, don't try to do all of this stuff yourself. You're not alone in this. You have the Chariot, which that's a good sign that you'll be successful at it. Just keep being determined. The 5 of Blades. Okay, some of you guys are feeling really dejected. maybe over somebody, maybe a lot of ruminating of fears in the past. We got Justice. And then the 9 of Sticks. Aw, okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like fierce, determined energy with this group where even though I know that it sounds like you're kind of blocking out what hurt you in the past in order to be more open going forward. But you're going to get through. You know what I mean? Because look at this little ghosty with his Band-Aid on his head. You know, he's wiping off the tears, but he's still standing. Okay? Yeah, you guys are going to be okay, because like these major arcana here are telling me that, hey, just because times are a little rough right now, you are on the right track. Okay? Just stay determined, stay focused, and don't let your past wounds hold you back. Okay? Because wealth is coming. See, wealth is coming. I literally pulled it. I don't think I've ever pulled that card before from this deck. I don't know. This is the Tea Leaf Oracle. But okay, y'all, that was the collective message. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You know, please like the live, all that good stuff. I appreciate you and the support you have for my YouTube channel. Alright, let me get back to the camera. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Cheers to yins. Okay, so now we're going to get into the personal readings. So how this works for y'all, because it's a little bit of a new system for the reoccurring people. What you got to do is you go onto the link in the description of the live stream or link in the description of the chat for signing up for a reading. And so basically, if you want a free reading, there's an option there. Or if you want a paid in-depth reading, I am offering those tonight as well. So those are full 15-minute reads, and they like really get into like the juicy stuff about you and your person. So, and I also prioritize those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the queue. Yeah, I don't see anybody signed up. Is anyone having any technical difficulties right now? Hi, I think I see you. Hey there, Joelle! Hey! Yeah, if you would like a reading, as I said before, go ahead and click on the link in the chat for Hypesy, and then all you do is you go ahead and you request whatever type of reading you'd like. Let me know if you need any help, because it's a little weird. I hope y'all are having a great night. I was running around shopping with some friends today, and so we had a blast. But I'm a little tired. It was hot today, being out in the sun. Whew. Yeah, that's another thing too, so I've been upping my Mind Over Mania game, because as you can see, hopefully you guys can hear the audio okay. Actually, let me check. Can you guys hear my audio? It looks like it's going, but I just want to confirm. Because that would be really embarrassing to be talking for 15 minutes and then, nobody... Nobody could hear me. That would be super awkward. I'm gonna go ahead and play some music. Okay. One sec, y'all. I'm trying to get my stream to... Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mind Over Mania. If you want a tarot reading, check out the link. Sign up on Hypeseat. Otherwise, come and hang out. Sorry, right now I am in the process of setting up my technology and stuff with getting live because I'm still a little fresh with my new setup. But yeah, otherwise, because if y'all don't want readings, there are free readings available. Also, there are paid readings as well if you're interested in that. They're more like deep dive and longer. But yeah, come hang out. Definitely come hang out. Let me know also too if you guys can hear me, because I'm hoping the audio works. Can I ask why he hurt Ben? Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. Playboy Bunny, hey! Welcome back. Hello. Hi. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for stopping by. Welcome back for reoccurring people. So I have a bit of a new setup, where basically, instead of having a moderator, I'm now using, oh, awesome, great, thank you guys. I'm using a application called Hypeseat, which is a third-party app, where basically you just go in, you request what type of reading you want. So if it's like a free reading, you select the free reading, and then if you want a paid reading, you can go ahead and do that. But it has a queue, and then there's a bot that helps the chat. So whoever is up next, it's automatically going to come up. It's super cool, especially since I'm trying to do more professional live streams, and I have all these new cards, which, okay, Playboy, okay, just because for a while there, you were giving me some really nice tea, I have a new Oracle card deck that is all about different tea with relationships and stuff like that, so I'm very excited to use it. Hey, cool girl, hey! Hey, yeah, no, this deck is like, oh my gosh, like, I can't wait to record another, sorry, I'm getting all tangled here. I can't wait to record another Who's Gossiping About You, because just the tea is mwah. Mwah. Yeah, I'm back. And that's the thing too, y'all. So what I'm trying to do is, in order to make sure I'm doing this routinely and sticking to a schedule, I have my schedule listed on my YouTube channel page as well as my Instagram account, because I'm trying to actually like make this a thing. So that way, if you guys are like, oh hey, I don't know if Chris is going live, you can go ahead and check it out. But it's going to be every other Friday, because it was turning into every Friday was too much, and then doing it once a month was too little. So then now I want to try to do like every other Friday until things settle down over here, because I'm moving and there's all these other things going on. So I'm like, yeah, super excited. But yeah, I'll go ahead and post the link. Oh, it looks like, all right, cool, JJ. All right, JJ, you're in here. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Aw. That makes me so sad, seeing your question, like, can I ask why he hurt Ben? Aw, first of all, I just want to say sending a lot of love to you and Ben, because, and the person that hurt him, because I think all of you guys definitely need some healing and love if that happened. I totally get it. Okay, so, Okay. Low-key, I know this is only a one-card pull, but I really want to try using my other Oracle card deck, but my intuition is telling me this, so you're getting 2 cards, okay? I'm making an exception for you because I want to show off to everybody, okay? Alright, so why did he hurt Ben? Okay, so right off the bat, do you want me to call you JJ, or do you want me to call you Breeze? Sorry, I've got a bunch of screens here. Because I just want to make sure I'm addressing you correctly. Okay, cool. Anyways, the Breeze, these are the cards you got. You got the Fool. I have a feeling it's supposed to be in reverse, though. And then, this is why, cool girl, oh, that's right. I have to change cameras. Ah! I'm getting all screwed up! Okay. So, you got the Fool. Alright? And then you got Ratchet, checking your phone or emails. Okay? So, okay, you prefer JJ? Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks for the clarification. So, that tells me right off the bat that there was some kind of a situation where he's in denial of something. Okay, so whoever he is, we're gonna say, for like John Doe or Jane Doe, I'm just gonna call him John. This John person really has to let go of his ego. And he has a very terrible time doing that. This person doesn't know when to he doesn't know when to stop, if that resonates with you. Because specifically, like, there's a heavy energy with this Fool. Because on the one hand, I feel like your person, or this John person, can be super sweet, and he appears this way to everybody else, but instead he just wants to stay a stick in the mud. Okay? And specifically with Ben, I don't know if were they lovers? Or, because at first I was like, are they friends? And then I was like, I'm not getting friendship vibes from this person. And then with checking their phone, I feel like he or John, that John person, he saw something that Ben was doing, and he blew it out of proportion. Okay, because John is the one that is doing some shady things, or like being, I'm hearing like skeevy, or being very, very like manipulative and misleading and guiding, and Ben was just trying to exist and have a relationship. And he's really not involved in stuff, but like, this John person projected it all onto him, and like specifically with like the text, he's like hovering over him. And that's why, like, even if they weren't dating, there's like some kind of a weird like energy that this that this John person has that's really like consuming and territorial and just really doesn't know when to back off. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, JJ, that's your situation, but, yeah, it just doesn't, there's some kind of an icky energy with that. Yeah, I mean, there's hope, though. There's hope for reconciliation, but, like, this John person's really gotta, like, remove himself from the situation, from the friendship, all that stuff, and really figure his shit out. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, though, that was your free one-card poll reading with some tea. Ben is his baby. He hurt, so I had to move. Okay, gotcha. Alright, so even if the romantic, and he took the baby. Oh, you took the baby. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, no, there's just something, as I said, he's trying to control something, and yeah, and like I said, like, so, like, if you want to get into, like, the tarot, now that I, like, know a little bit more about the context of the situation, there's something about, like, with the Fool in reverse, that is all about, you know, being reckless, not fully thinking things through, like, yeah, just kind of being, like, in your head and being very, I don't know what he was doing, honestly. I don't really think there's, like, much more of an explanation of he is disconnected from himself, and he's definitely disconnected from responsibility. That much is true. Yeah. I don't know if that dog's significant too, but yeah, I was gonna say, I in a situation like that, it really is more about him and his own mental issues, and nothing to do with worthiness or anything you did or whatever. That is all him not taking responsibility for himself and really, like, yeah, he's got some issues. Okay. Okay, so I just wrapped up your reading. So it should say, there should be something that pops up that says, that the reading's over and then it's gonna go to the next person. Which, right now we don't have anybody in the queue. So, whee! Yeah. But yeah, sending you a lot of extra love, JJ, because that's really hard, you know, to experience. Interesting. Sorry, y'all. There is such a lag between my screens, so I'm trying to keep up here. I don't know. It might be my internet. I don't think it's the new PC. Yeah, you're welcome, Breezy. Or sorry, JJ. Wow. I was looking at the screen and so it just came up, so... And there was someone who used to be Breezy that showed up on the show all the time. So when I saw Breeze off, I was like, oh, Breezy. It's been a day, y'all. It's been a day. As I was saying earlier, I was, like, running around shopping with some friends, and I was in the heat, and I was walking for hours, and it was fun. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, and then, like, the stress of the world. There's just a lot. There's just a lot, which for those of you guys that came in a bit later, you know, I did do my collective message at the beginning of this, so you can go ahead and check that out. Yeah. Good stuff. I hope you guys are doing well, Cool Girl and Playboy Bunny. Oh my gosh, I'm just like wanting to like wipe my face and just take a bath. So I'm turning the weird music off. Was the music weird? I don't know. It was like I randomly put on music in the background for while I was trying to get this set up because it was just like I got a special Alienware computer to try to do better with live streaming because my cameras were having a hard time keeping up with my other new computer. And so now everything should be flowing and at the same time my old setup has been undone, and so now I'm just like I'm trying to make this work. I'm trying to make this happen. Oh, you like the music? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's funny because it's called like Programming Melodies, Inspiring Creativity with Future Garage, and I was like, I don't know how that vibe is. Because like, on the one hand, I love it because it's like super like kind of spiritually but kind of techy, but then I'm also like in this energy of like I want to burn things down, and so I want to listen to like divorced dad rock and all this other stuff, but then I get flagged by YouTube for copyright stuff, and apparently this is not copyrighted. Say lovey. Let's see. I started doing sugar daddy dating. Ooh. Okay. I have a friend who does that. Be safe and all that, but I hope you're enjoying yourself. I know you have to make sure that you're on, like, the right kind of websites and, you know, buddy system and things. But I hope he takes care of you. I'm guessing your boo thing that you were asking about has not stepped up to the plate. Divorced Dad Rock? Oh, wait, no! If y'all have not seen... Okay, I need to... At some point, I need to create a screen that shows, I can probably do that really fast. Yeah, there's a Divorced Dad Rock playlist on Spotify. Let me actually do this, because I'm like... That would actually be fun during live streams, is literally having, like, Spotify in the background, and then, like, it's a queue, and then all of y'all could, like, add music to the queue, and just see what happens. That would be so funny. Yeah, let me... So then I'd just be sitting there doing my thing, and then all of y'all will come in and just, like, spam my... I'm not a robot, Meta. I swear. If anything, if anybody's the robot here, it's you. Okay. I need that. I need... I want to log in. Okay. Alright, I'm doing a thing. Also, so done with him. Oh, okay, yeah. Please tell me about what happened with him. Because I was like, he was so flaky, like he had all these feelings, and I was like, are you gonna take action? I'm guessing he did not. That is the only thing I am seeing with that. Oh shoot! Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry, y'all. I realized when I switched screens, you couldn't hear any of the things I was saying. Yeah, please make sure that you post your story in the chat, Playboy, because I want to hear all the details, because I had a feeling that he was gonna be flaky and he was gonna whatever, and I was like, he had to choose where that was gonna go. And then, hi, R. Lopez, hey. For those of y'all that are coming in, I'm sorry I just disappeared for a second because of, technical stuff, but I am doing in Hypesy how I'm tracking my free readings and whatnot. As you go into Hypesy, there's a link in the description of the live stream, and then you can go ahead and submit your question and make sure you request the free reading. So hopefully you all heard that. I'm gonna go back to working on this thing. There's tea above you. Am I missing something? Okay, this is what y'all should be seeing now that I'm here. I realized you were probably seeing my screen the whole time. Well, yep. Here it is, but this is a playlist that me and my friend found out about because it was playing at a bar in downtown Austin, and we were like, dang, this playlist is really good, and then we found out it's divorced dad rock bangers. Yeah, and this playlist has, like, you know, almost 400,000 saves, you know? And it's pretty great. It's pretty great. Okay, yeah, I'm getting out of that. Hello, hey. For all of y'all that want a free reading, basically what you do is you go ahead and, let me post the link. You have to sign up on Hypesy. And then what you do is you get on the list. If you want the free reading, make sure you select that. And then if you want a paid reading, there's the option for that as well. But this is how I'm tracking my readings now. So when the list comes in, I can actually, like, know who's where and what's been completed and what's not. Extra tea. Sorry, I gotta rewrite. Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like it didn't submit in the thing. Yeah, he pops in and out of my life. Yeah. Man. That's the thing, too, is, like, with exes and stuff like that, it's like, they're always, like, how is it? My therapist described them like sharks. Okay, is like literally, here, you're the fishy, right? You sit there and you're like swimming around and you're like, oh yeah, here I am, I'm just a fish. You know, and then here comes your ex. Okay, your ex is like this shark, and how sharks hunt, you know, is what they do is they brush up against their prey and then they swim away. And then they brush up against their prey. Because if it's like a healthy fish, it's gonna go try swimming away. But if it's like a more, if it's a more, struggling fishy, weak fish, sorry, I keep looking at the video and I'm like, oh no, my screen went black, and then I was like, this is super lagged. But basically, the shark will swim away and then he'll brush up again. And then finally, when it's like, okay, that's my fish, that's the fish I'm gonna kill, then it comes in and attacks you, right? But that's why they do this circling thing, because they're like, alright, if I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna see, are you still interested? Are you still interested? And they do that over and over and over again until they eventually try to bite. So that's why, if you want somebody gone out of your life, you have to be very, very clear GTFO. Like, because if you have, like, an open door policy with people, They're going to continue to hit you up. They're going to drain your energy. They're going to try to be like, oh, we're friends, whatever. They're just energy drags. You know? That's all they do. Ooh. Okay, I got my next request. We've got Queen Omer Reggie. Yeah, okay. Cool. I'm gonna call you Queen, is that okay, or would you prefer a different name? Can you also tell me what he wants to tell me? I can only pull one card, since it's a free reading. What would you prefer? Because I can pull a card that has more, like, whatever, or just call you Queen. Okay, cool. Cool. Because I can do, like, a direct message pull card, or I can pull something that's more about just your situation in general. I just want to clarify, because I got a lot of options here. Do situation? Okay, cool. Alright. I'm gonna sit there and be like, yes, Queen! Yes! Okay, alright. So, like regular tarot. Okay. Okay, so... Is Pooh... I mean, is this person alive? Because, like, a spirit guide is someone that's usually somewhere in the ether. Let me see what's going on between you guys spiritually, because there's something... I think you're getting confused about your relationship with him. Yeah, you have the Six of... Let me go ahead and change cameras real fast. Yeah, you got the Six of Sticks in reverse, okay? And so something's kind of telling me that... I think you need to be on your guard with him, because I'm feeling there's, like, some kind of, like, something about resisting. Okay, like, I think you're resisting something about this. Like, I kind of get the vibe that, like, for some reason you put a halo above him, and this kind of feels like there's some kind of, like... This energy's so confusing. I don't know. This person... I don't think that you... I don't think you have clear intentions with him, and I don't think he has clear intentions with you. There's some kind of muddied thing. Is he a protector? No. I don't... So I'm going to be straight. I don't really feel like this is a spiritual connection. I don't really feel it's spiritually guided. It feels very like this person kind of takes advantage of you, but I feel like you also are in a space where you're not able to see yourself clearly, so you're not able to see him clearly either. Okay? I think I would really recommend you make sure you do some grounding exercises, because I think I'm seeing, like, there's, like, a lot of energy in your field, and so I feel like you're getting pulled at by a lot of different frequencies, and that's causing some confusion here. And so I really, really recommend, like, unblocking your throat chakra, as well as, like, grounding a lot, because I think you're gonna get, when you're, like, a little bit more steady, this person is gonna look completely different to you. And then I think you can proceed with figuring out what kind of a relationship you want with him, because he's definitely not... I don't want to even say soulmate, because I don't feel like there's clear enough energy to even get to that point for it to be soulmate, okay? And I'm saying that as someone who, there's like all kinds of different lessons with soul contracts and karmic partners and all these other different things. And there's a lot of times people just flash those terms around. I typically don't. And I also too, and I don't want to give you spiritual guidance towards a person if I know that your energy's also like whatever. But yeah, that was your reading. So, okay. I hope that helps you out, though, because it's not like he's, like, a good or a bad person. It just really feels, though, like there's some kind of, like, a taking for granted energy or taking advantage of, and I think that should be something that you should take a look at, so that way you can kind of reflect on why this person's showing up this way in your field, because I don't, like I said, it's too cloudy for me to see what's going on with you. Yeah, no problem, Queen. Wishing you the best. Yes, Queen. Yes. Thank you so much for stopping by. And here's another thing, too, Queen. If you want to, if you have more questions about, like, soulmates and stuff like that, you can also use, on my YouTube channel, I have a bunch of free pick-a-card readings that talk about all that stuff. So if you're very intuitive and gifted yourself, you can go ahead and look at those different videos and ask your questions about different folks. You just picture that person in your mind, watch the video, and then you'll get your answer about that person. And that could be a method for you to also work with your own intuition to see, like, hey, are there messages here, or whatever. Sitting here feeling like, with this music, I gotta, like, tap, tap, tap away. I'm like... Oh my gosh. This is a 3-hour-long video, Jesus. I was like, this is a very long music, music playlist. Alright. You get to come back and see my face. Yeah. But yeah, okay. Alright, so if y'all want readings, as I said, make sure you check out the links in the description, you know, sign up on Hypesy, it's free if you want a one-card pull, yeah, and with, all my new decks, like, so, okay, so, since I'm sitting here and there's a bit of a pause in all the readings, I want to go ahead and show you guys the new card decks I got. I'm super, super excited to share, simply because these are beautiful. I bought them off of different, Oracle card makers on Etsy, and so my thought is I love the personal touch that a lot of Etsy creators make with their cards. Specifically, too, because if you're a professional tarot reader, there's a certain point where, I don't know, like, I have a lot of different cards. Like, I can literally show you in the back here my whole stack and collection of cards that I've accumulated after I just got rid of a bunch. And there's so many different ways to use cards, and I love art, too. It's just the problem is with tarot, I mean, it's the same set of rules, same set of interpretation, and because I'm a very fluid tarot reader, it's very much like, wow, I just want things that are a little bit more clear, and have a variety to things that I encounter a lot as a reader, you know, because, like, a lot of the similar themes that I see is, like, certain types of situation dynamics and whatever. But yeah, so for example, I've got the Love Triangle Oracle. This one's pretty cute. So for example, like, this has a lot of, like, relationship stuff where there's, like, I have multiple masks for every situation, and then there's, like, Two-Face, unstable identity playing the victim, you know? We've got Can I Take You Away? Which, side note, y'all, for some reason, when I was out today, I noticed a synchronicity in, like, phrasing. for me personally, where it was specifically the phrasing "thinking of you," because first it was painted on the side of a building, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. You know, I didn't really think anything of it. And then I saw "thinking of you" when I was in Michael's today. It was like literally like super microscopic. I was just walking past the clearance section. I remember looking over and seeing "thinking of you," and I was just like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, that's what's so weird about being a tarot reader, is because you encounter that sort of stuff all the time where you're just like, is this a sign? Is this a sign? No. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, so we have our Love Triangle Oracle card deck, and then we also have this one, which this is about blockages, both financially as well as just in general, because I noticed there's not a lot of finance topics, but this does apply to a variety of situations. And so I've been really using this deck hard for a lot of inner work and stuff. So as you had seen earlier, we've got like Success Vampire, right? That is a very specific type of person, right? Because in order to like, there's all kinds of stuff about like energy vampires. However, with this is specifically about people taking away your time, your ideas, or draining your energy. And yeah, I don't know. This is just a really good card deck. I highly recommend. Or like excessively giving. I get this all the time. Because I'm very generous, and generous with both my energy, my money, and my time, and it's like, and like, some people don't deserve it, but I'm still like, but I gotta be nice. But yeah, so then we've got heart-to-heart messages, so similar to what Queen was asking about with messages from their person. You know, it's like, I see things that remind me of you everywhere. Literally what I was talking about before. And then here's, like, the sister companion deck to it, which, kind of strange, but, like, this is literally, like, almost twice the size of the other one, and this is, like, the second edition. Okay. And then, you know, this baby with the cord cutting, this is all about, like, different types of relationships. This is also, again, a shadow-type deck, but in general, there's some decent cards in here. Like, for example, schooling, lesson at hand. You know, it's not all negative, but there's random ones where inconsistent passion, hot and cold. That one's for you, cool, Playboy. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh, what was this? Sorry, there was a card that was standing out to the side. I don't know if this is needed for anybody, but it says, I mirrored you to make you fall in love with me. Personality disorders, unstable sense of self, antisocial. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So another one. Oh, I got a request. There needs to be a flag on this. Oh, you paid for a reading! Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Playboy! Ah! Thank you! Thank you so much! Ah! Okay. So, we've got a question. Okay. Alright, let's see here. I love this. I want to ask for if Dan, my current sugar daddy, will be giving me more money each meeting, wanting to know his thoughts about me specifically. Okay. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead. I'm gonna do 2 piles. One for about the money, and then the other will be about his general thoughts and feelings towards you. Okay. Also, one question, since you and Cool Girl are reoccurring folks, is the audio quality better than when I used to live stream? That is the only thing I care about right now, is I bought this nice-ass computer to make sure that I am showing up in a more professional way. And, I mean, the video cameras are still a bit grainy and all that, which is annoying, because I got a new camera and all this other stuff, but the audio quality should be good, though, at least. What is going on? So, One sec. Sorry, I'm channeling your energy and then I'm stepping into his. Okay, awesome, great. Yeah, because, like, his energy, is he very, like, controlling or very timely? Because there's something about him where he's like, time is money, time is money, time is money. Like, he is definitely, like, he's like top dog businessman. Like, this man doesn't mess around, and I feel like, I kind of get the vibe that you're not the only sugar baby he has. I hope that doesn't mean anything to you, but I definitely am feeling like he keeps, like, at least 2 girls at a time, 2 or 3. Because he's very punctual, but he, like, schedules his life. So if you notice him being very particular about scheduling habits, yeah. Yeah, so, interesting. Yeah, because I'm not getting, like, he's just very, very punctual. Okay, anyways, sorry. I was like, that energy, though, because, like, I think where I got tripped up was I was picking up on all the things he's involved with big picture, and then there's your energy, and I was like, whoa, 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 like, this is, like, very interesting dynamics of energy, but, like, dang. Okay, so, money for Playboy, and then his thoughts and feelings. Alright, so this is money, thoughts. Money, thoughts. Okay. And I did not want to risk it. Oh, that tea! Oh, that tea! Yeah, I think he'd get a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie. I do feel like if he saw that, he'd be like, what am I paying you for then? Because, like, for him, there's definitely, like, a fantasy, a power fantasy. That's why he does this, you know? And that's why he's not interested in having a wife. Because to him, a sugar baby is the same as having a wife without the sex and without the other commitment stuff that he doesn't want. So, but in general, he's a pretty stable guy, and, like, I think what's interesting is, like, even though, like, yeah, he's kind of misogynistic, there is, like, he has values, and that's why he's very particular about your relationship and his relationships, because he doesn't fuck up, okay? So, like, there's something about his energy that he doesn't make mistakes. So he might deal with perfectionism a lot, or is very, like, stressed out by that. So one of the things that he likes about you, again, I haven't flipped over any cards, but I'm really channeling that he likes that you let him breathe, okay? Or you kind of give room for him. And there's something about you that he was caught by surprise, because maybe there was, like, something you guys were talking about and he didn't think you'd know about it. And so I think for him mentally, I don't know if he's new to being a sugar daddy or whatever, but there's kind of, like, I think he was just imagining having a sugar baby being more like having an escort. And so then when you kind of, like, you, like, piqued his interest a little bit. Because he was like, okay, so there's, like, something kind of different. Maybe because I think, like, either it's because you choose your words, or there's just something about, like, maybe you're just a little more authentic and real. I'm also getting the imagery of, like, a thumb pressed to the roof of my mouth. So it's kind of like, you're not trying to, like, get at him in any way. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, so anyway, we'll look at the money cards first, alright? So we've got straight up liar, I can't believe a word they say. We've got enlightenment. I don't even know what that card is. What the hell? This is a tarot deck. Okay, interesting. Okay. Cool. I mean, this is a relatively newer deck, but I was like, enlightenment? What does that mean for the tarot? We've got small dreams, not dreaming big enough that can create a high-impact, meaningful life. Giving up too easily. If you quit before the miracle happens, you'll never see your victory. Resentment and envy. Resentment and envy drain your energy and make you feel like a victim. Female detective. And I'm still upset with you. Anger, jealousy, feeling entitled. Okay, so this is kind of the message I'm getting from Spirit about your relationship with him. You have to be very careful about his relationship with others. So on the one hand, like, he is consistent. He will pay you. However, you also have to show faith. And so there's kind of like with this giving up too easily, I feel like that's kind of you, same with like the small dreams. Because Spirit's kind of like saying like, you're going to receive the money, but you're thinking too small about what you're getting out of the exchange, right? Because even if it's just like, okay, I'm getting this income, or like what, how are you spending your time? Because I'm feeling like with the money, like, yeah, very easily, because he's got another girl floating around, to him, a lot of this is business transaction. He doesn't think about it emotionally. So where you could get caught up is with the straight up lying, where I don't feel like he's going to lie to you, but at the same time, if you're always relying on when that's coming around, if he ends up finding someone else and then he wants to close things off with you, at any point in time he could be like, oh, okay, and then boom, it's going to come out from nowhere, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, he just left me. So that's kind of the lying energy I'm getting from him, is it's not so much like a malicious, like, oh, I'm going to lie to protect you or, like, try to get under your skin. No, it's more of like, he's not a reliable source of income, because at any point in time he's going to choose someone else, because I also notice he gets bored easy, and that's why he likes to spend money really quickly. That is a pattern of his that you do have to watch out, which a lot of these sugar daddies do that, okay? Because again, they're business people that are literally just spending for entertainment, and so depending on the kind of entertainment you provide and what you want to do, you can do that. I just saw your message because I was channeling, and I saw, like, I'm wanting more money, but I don't want to say anything. You have to say something, okay? And that's where, again, with giving up too easy and small dreams, that also is saying for me that, yes, I understand that it's a consensual adult relationship, but these are business people that like type A. If you come in there and say, like, no, I want that money, but you got to come in with an energy that I deserve that money. Right? Because if you're saying, like, I don't want to say anything, that is not going to get you your money. Okay? These are high ballers. Okay? I am saying this as when I was bartending for them, and also, like, I just know people. And with them, they, like, if you come in and say, this is what I want, this is what I offer, this is what I blah, 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 that will turn him up. Okay? I'm just going to say that, because that is how his brain is working time and time again. And you can be feminine, but you also have to be direct with what you want, okay? Because being direct is a feminine thing. However, you also have to embody that, you know, in receiving more, okay? And so one thing I've also learned from, like, my friends that are in sex work or whatever is basically saying, like, I am that queen, and if I'm worth this, then this is how much I believe I'm worth. Okay, and so especially too, like, when you look at those relationships, like business transactions, you have to really try to financially analyze what's going on around you, okay? So, I realize I didn't put my timer, but I'm going to do it so that way I shut up at some point. But specifically, like, and again, with resentment and envy, I feel like there might be, this feels like a little bit more towards you, because I feel like you're feeling envious but stuck. And it's not like anything personal, it's just you're kind of like in this energy of like, how do I get that? You know, how do I do this because I have that? I just feel bad because I cancel less. No, it's okay. That's the thing, is like, you're allowed to cancel. And here's the thing, if you show up with integrity and strength, knowing what goods you got, he will respect you more for it. Okay? So I'm saying this as a business person, right? Having worked with people like this. We all understand life happens, but if you're constantly like, time is money, time is money, time is money, if you cancel more than once consistently, then he's going to drop you, right? But if you do like a one time, he understands things are, like, if it happens one time, it's like, okay, cool, whatever. But if it turns into like a consistent thing, then yeah, he's going to X you fast, right? And so that's why it's more so if you show up confidently, and every single time you come back more with this confidence, that's going to light you up, and it's going to light him up, okay? Because that's what you're both doing. You're both doing a transaction, and you're wearing a mask, he's wearing a mask, you're both playing a role, everyone's having a good time, but you gotta really own that. Yeah, exactly. And like the hickey thing, like, yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. But here's the thing, though, he doesn't know that, and so to him, he's just like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever your thing is, and he's not putting mental energy into this relationship. And so also with like female detective, right? This is also spirit, or your spirit guide team kind of guiding you to be like, hey, do your research, right? Because you can make your bag. Like if you want to go into, you know, that sort of world, you can do that. But if you're also looking for stable money and different things like that, I feel like also too, this enlightenment card kind of tells you that, hey, you know, listen to the music of your soul. You know, I'm also seeing like, are you a dancer at all? Because I don't know, for some reason I was seeing like her like wrapped in ribbon and stuff like that. That would be fun. Yeah, sorry, the chat's like behind, so I apologize if I'm not like on top of it. But then I am still upset with you. I do feel there's some energy blockage from your ex or the past that is affecting the money. So for example, if you would normally be confident about like asking for things because you're still upset with what happened in the past, that is still in your energy field, and it's kind of stopping you from reaching for abundance in multiple areas of your life, you know? Okay, so now we're going to get into his thoughts and feelings towards you. Ooh, okay. Oh! This is why I got this deck. Okay, so we've got deny. Doesn't want to claim you in public. Okay, so he is definitely in this energy of like, if I pick the right girl, I can just have my fun and it doesn't matter. He specifically doesn't want women that he can get attached to. Okay. Like, specifically with like the no claiming in public, he doesn't want people to know that he's doing this stuff. Okay, I don't know if he has a wife, I don't know what his situation is, but there's definitely, it feels more like a professionalism and a pride thing. That he's like, okay, like, I don't know if you guys meet up at private spots or whatever, but he gives me the vibe of like, I want to be very exclusive. Hello, new people, welcome to the live stream. If you're interested in getting a reading, make sure you check out, the link in the description to sign up for a reading on Hypesy. I'm doing a paid reading right now, but if you want a free tarot reading, go ahead and sign up. It's a link in the description. I need to put that disclaimer on this page. But yeah, interesting. So, and especially too with public, I don't know if he's in the public eye. I don't know if you've looked at him, but I feel like there's also something that like he's just very visible. So he's really just kind of like, hey, I only want to do business with girls that are, I'm feeling like maybe feeling a little neglected and abandoned because he also feels bad. So I do feel like his masculine energy kind of strikes me as he feels like he's kind of taking care of you. And so that makes him feel okay with the situation. So he's kind of like, hey, you know, like I get to have fun. I get to feel younger. I get to feel like I'm in charge. I'm in power, but there's no connection here. And then I'm also helping a girl out. You know what I mean? Because it seems like he tends to choose women that are kind, or maybe not necessarily outright kind, but definitely he can tell that he's like, okay, this person definitely either could use my assistance, or you're not being like a gold digger. You know what I mean? I feel like he's kind of like, hey, I pick my people that show up consistently. You know, I do have a good vibe, and as long as it's like that, that's fine. We go to a hotel. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, because he's very much like, let's just keep this private, you know? Okay, so we got the Nine of Cups. Aw. Yeah, so I do feel like there's a bit of fulfillment here. I feel like whatever you guys are doing together, that kind of makes him happy. Yeah. Like I said, that kind of mirrors what I was saying about like that energy of wanting to like take care of things and move things along financially. And, yeah, especially like if you're worried about him paying you, like he's gonna pay you. He's not that type of person. But you just have to make sure that you raise your standards to be like, hey, if I don't have my money, then I'm moving on to someone else. You know what I mean? Because this is hustle. You know what I mean? Okay, so we've got pessimistic attitude. See only the problems to justify why things can't change. Become more aware of the trap that your language creates, and don't be so quick to look at the negatives instead of thinking about all the possibilities that could come up from a particular situation. Okay, I'm gonna put a pin in that one. I'm gonna come back to it. We got half-hearted effort. When you don't give your all, you get stuck in mediocrity. Start unleashing your full potential, put in 100%, and you'll soon see the rewards of your efforts come to fruition. Yeah, so I feel like he's struggling with relationships in general. And so what's kind of happening here is he feels a little bit pessimistic towards you simply because, like, he sees you're nice, but he also has a lot of shame and guilt for what he's doing. You know? Yeah, I'd say in that case, like, ask him for more. Just say, hey, can I have more? And you don't really need to justify it, or if he tries to question you, just say, hey, you know, I think I deserve a little bit more. You know, be cute about it, you know? It's fun for him. But yeah, half-hearted effort, though, I do feel like he kind of, like, to him, it's like, it's just a paycheck, right? He's just kind of, like, doing that, so I don't really feel like it feels like he doesn't really know how to do, like, the extra stuff. You know, I don't know if he doesn't really know how to date women, because he's so, like, I don't know if he's very analytical, or he just seems very powerful, so now he's at a point mentally in his life where he doesn't know how to connect with women anymore, and so, because he's so focused on success, like, he won't put the effort in, but he doesn't know how to do that anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know if some stuff happened in his life, but he does feel kind of, like, pessimistic towards women in general. And so I think that your relationship, you know, because it brings him happiness, he's, like, seeing, like, he likes being able to take care of somebody. So to him, like, it's kind of like a balancing act where he gets very, like, professional and pessimistic and, like, perfectionistic about, like, I gotta hide my image and all this other stuff. But then he's like, but I'm having a good time. So, like, and what he tries to do is, when he's with you, he likes to feel like he's doing something good, you know, because I think he's always, like, and I'm saying this as someone who, if you're around, like, CEOs or people that have a lot on their fucking brain, their brain is their biggest weapon, but it's their biggest downfall at the same time, and that's why, like, with this image here, with, like, all of the wires and stuff, that is, he is turned on all the time, so spending time with you literally allows him to shut a piece of that up and be like, hey, I have to be present in the moment, because if I make this girl, like, if I have a problem with this girl or something goes wrong, that screws up this fantasy. We've got Leech, annoying, won't leave you alone. Okay. Karmic family member. Okay. We've got Rotten, good girl gone bad. Ooh. I see your name everywhere I go. Synchronicities. Oh no. Are you haunting this man, Playboy? Oh no. I wish we met before I settled down. Would you pick up if I called you now? Late night call, express love sexting. So, what I'm feeling is he is just so tightly wound around trying to be in control that, like, I mean, you're a spiritual person, right? And so, yeah, he's going to continue. Yeah, I think he likes this arrangement. The problem is, right now, I don't know if he has, like, an ex-girlfriend or some other woman that is keeping up his mind. Again, I feel like there's a little bit of drama going on in his personal life, so that's why, like, with you, he's able to detach. But, like, with I wish we met before I settled down, I do feel like there's kind of, like, some regrets with him where he kind of feels like... I kind of get the vibe that he fantasizes sometimes about you guys meeting in a way that wasn't in this context. You know, because I think this karmic family member and then, like, Leech, I do get he has this very serious wound around people leeching off of him for money, so then he's very sensitive when it comes to if you show up with that energy. But again, if you're authentic with enjoying your dynamic, then it's fine, right? And I definitely don't feel like he feels threatened by you or anything. With the I see your name everywhere we go, I do feel like he'll sometimes see your name at work, or he'll be like working on something and then he'll just think about you randomly and he'll get that little warm spot and then he'll go back to doing his thing. So it's kind of like I see in his head you're kind of like a little salve. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like you don't take up a lot of his mental space, but, like, if, for example, your name pops up at work, he'll just be like, oh, I wonder how she's doing today. Or how she's feeling today. I know she seemed kind of bummed last time we hung out, so I hope the money I sent her helped. And then goes back to his thing. So, like, I hope I'm not haunting him, but I want to haunt his wallet. Right? Yeah, you know? I feel like I'm in alignment with this compared to when I was younger. Yeah. Yeah, no, because, like, that's the thing, too, is, like, with the good girl gone bad, I think he has this opinion of you. Which, with you saying you were previously a doctor, I think that's so funny, because, like, he has this image of you in his head of, like, oh, it's a good girl gone bad, interesting, so it's like, I bagged a baddie. You know what I mean? Because that's where I think with the annoying won't leave you alone energy, he fucking hates that. So, like, I don't know what experiences he had in the past, but I definitely see this man being, like, someone who's, like, nagging him for money, as opposed to if you're sitting there, like, what would really work on him if you wanted to ask him for more money is literally being like, hey, I'm working on this project, or hey, you know, I was feeling really down. Like, finding organic ways to ask for it that don't feel like, you know how, like, some people are into the energy of, like, daddy, give me something, or, you know what I mean? Like, find whatever your kind of modality is with your relationship, right? That's the way I'll word it, because, like, there's different strokes for different folks, and everyone's got a certain thing, and the way my friend does it with, like, OnlyFans and stuff like that, she's got her own particular set of clientele and what works for them, and, I mean, they fucking, you know, they go crazy for her, okay? It's crazy. And so that's why tapping into that feminine energy, and especially, too, like, with the good girl gone bad, I do think he likes the dynamic of it makes him feel powerful, knowing that you are also a powerful person, and that you are choosing a different lifestyle, and you're choosing him. So, the fact that you are choosing him kind of lights him up a bit. You know, it gives him that good feeling, which is why you're doing this, you know, or at least that's why he's doing it. But I think it feels kind of mutual, where you're kind of like, you know, as you put it, you know, when we're younger, you know, there's a different energy to this sort of stuff, when, as an adult, you're kind of like, well, I'm not spending this money on, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? It's not meant to be judgmental of, like, what we do, but, like, when you're younger, you know what I mean? You're like, oh my gosh, I want to go ride in the Lamborghini, versus now you're like, I want to pay my bills. You know what I mean? Like, I got bills to pay. You know what I mean? Like, I got vacations to go on. I got a life to live. But I think because you guys can have serious conversations, as well as, I think he just likes your maturity, honestly. Like, I really don't feel, I think that's where one of his sticklers is with these sugar babies, is finding folks that can make him feel young, but also have maturity, because he can't put up with bullshit. And then this karmic family member, I don't know if you remind him of somebody, but it does give him a sore spot. So again, this gives me the energy of, like, an ex or whatever, so, like, don't compare yourself to somebody else. Just make sure you protect yourself emotionally in this connection, because I do see you having a potential opportunity to maybe be, like, you know, if you guys do get a little bit more emotionally enmeshed, just make sure that you're able to kind of, like, hold steady in your space, because he's very pessimistic, you know, about the world right now, and pessimistic about whatever, and just focus on enjoying each other. You know what I mean? Like, view it as, like, the exchange of being like, hey, I'm getting paid to make someone feel good, you know, and this person is paying you so he feels good, you know, but he's doing it in a way that's, like, to provide for you, you know, because, like I said, the energy that this guy has is not, like, he doesn't want to deal with spoiled, rotten people. He wants to be helping the good girl that went in a different direction, you know, and again, if that's a misogynistic take from him, that's him, but you're here to make your bag and have a good time. Sorry, I'm gonna go back and read your messages in the chat, but yeah, any other questions before I wrap up? Thank you guys so much for the people that are patient and waiting. I'm gonna get to the free readings after this. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. I have another sugar daddy? Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's good to diversify your portfolio. Diversify your portfolio. Okay. Are you guys able to see the camera okay? I just want to check to make sure. Because for some reason it's just lagging on the screen. Making me question my reality. I'm tempted to get into stripper life again, but I like the idea of him being the provider. Oh, that's so funny, because, like, when I pulled that card with Enlightenment, I was like, are you a dancer? I realized, yeah. Yeah, maybe you could say, you know, you can add a little bit in more for a dance or something, to go dancing together. But make it fun and sweet. Like, he doesn't want to, I think part of the appeal with you is because you have, being a doctor, there's something about you that has, like, his interest peaked. So, I don't know if he would be into that or not. I feel like he'd have to, like, earn it, if that makes any sense. Like, you'd have to put a scenario together where he'd be like, well, if I invest in this much money, then I get it. You know what I mean? Like, doing some kind of, like, if you really want that version of me, you really want the bad girl or the good girl gone bad, you gotta invest way more money into that. You know, I was, like, you could literally hype this man up and be like, oh yeah, I mean, like, I was a really great stripper back in the day, but, like, my ways have changed. And you know what I mean? And then you could, like, very easily be like, well, maybe after a grand, you know, I mean, that's, you know, I'm just throwing out random numbers here, depending on what your payment schedule is. But yeah. I met him last month, we hit it off, he's legit. For sure, gotta get that hickey healed. Oh my gosh, well, thank you so much for the paid reading, I really appreciate the donation, and, I'm wishing you the best on this, because, like, to me, like, this stuff, yeah, I just find it so interesting. You know, because, like, I used to work, I don't know if I had ever mentioned this in the past, but I used to work at a whiskey and cigar bar that was, like, a very high-quality one. So we had, like, CEOs, bigwig people coming in to smoke cigars all the time. I had people, like, they'd just put, like, $100 bill in your pocket because they heard you were going away on a vacation or something like that, and, like, it was wild, you know what I mean? A lot of them were really decent dudes, though. That's why I liked it, because it was kind of like, you had the occasional, like, really generous person, but then there was also, like, really down-to-earth guys, and I didn't deal with, like, sexual harassment or anything. They were just really good. So I kind of miss it, but yeah, when you get into, like, the OnlyFans and all that other stuff, though, it's, like, there's just a lot, you know what I mean? And so just making sure everybody knows their boundaries and all that. I learned my lesson to say bye to Jonathan. Okay, Playboy, alright. Alright, I don't have another reading coming up, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull you one card about Jonathan, okay, Playboy? Because I kind of am curious. I want the tea about Jonathan now. All right, I want to use this. All right, let's see. Tell me about Jonathan for Playboy. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, wait. Which camera am I on? Oh, yep. I'm on the one up ahead of me. Okay. All right. You got stalker. An insecure male or female? Oh my gosh. Oh no. His whole vibe attracts me. Aw. I'm glad for you. You know what I mean? Because it's like, the whole point of what you're doing is everybody's supposed to have a good time. You know, everyone's getting their needs met. And it sounds like you're doing a good job, so keep it up. You know? I think that's kind of like where the modern age is going, is since everyone doesn't want to get married because of all of the, all of the, like, oh my gosh, we get married, and then they take all my money away. So now they're just paying for escorts. And then I think they're just kind of being like, you know, doing that. Or sugar babies, or OnlyFans, or like whatever different things. Yeah, I don't know why he keeps being like, what? I was like, a sugar baby is not an escort. And I was like, I think that, is he like a little more old school? The, Dan, I think his name was? Even today, Jonathan is a waste of time. Is he a new person? Have you told me about him before? Ugh. I was gonna say, cheers to you, Playboy. I totally get that vibe. Where is my drink? Oh, yeah, I'm definitely out of kombucha now. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because I was like, he's definitely like older, but not like he just feels very old school, you know. Yeah, here, I'm gonna blow my nose real fast. Jonathan is fine as hell, but I don't get anything financially out of him. That's a shame. That is a shame. But what about the love you share? Blinking. What about the love? You're sitting here like, I'm trying to make money thing. Go away. One second, I'm listening. I'm trying to get my TikTok back up because I deleted TikTok for a bit because I was like, with everything going on, and I was just causing myself to one sec. Hey Em, if you would like to purchase a reading, or if you want a free reading, here is the link. And then that's how we determine who's up next. I don't know. My sinuses have been really clearing out lately. Hmm. But yeah, tell me more about Jonathan Playboy. I was like, is he coming to, is he trying to court you, or are you just having fun? Ooh. Okay. You want a general reading, please? Okay. Very cool, very cool. I will get to that. 1 second. Alright. Sorry, y'all. I'm, like, still, like, getting... Now that I'm doing live streams more regularly again... Now that I'm doing more live streams again, I'm, like, trying to, like, make my setup, like, work so that way I can, like, get used to having people, Okay. Alright, I'm gonna do this later. Sorry about that. Just trying to, like, get stuff rolling here. Okay. Okay, let's pull you a card. You want a general reading, please? Oh, okay. No? Alright. Feeling this one for M. What is the magic word? Yeah. Ooh, you got the King of Cups. Okay. Let me... Yeah, all of this switching with cameras and stuff, it's distracting and it takes me away from the reading, so I'm like, I gotta figure out what I want to do, y'all. Anyways, so yeah, King of Cups, what I'm feeling for you, there's something you gotta let go of somebody in order to step into your power, okay? Because I'm feeling like with this King of Cups, you know, look at this little ghosty, okay? He's got a scepter and he's got a cup, right? So he's balanced and in control of his emotions, okay? And there's something that you're resisting releasing, right? So when you see this fishy in the back, right? This king is not paying attention to this fishy. This fishy in the background saying, love me, do this, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't even know who this is. This could literally represent an inner critic, an inner voice, or literally a person that's just wasting your time, okay? And so, when you have this ghosty who's, like, completely just moving forward with their emotions, you know, the sea and the waters are calm, that's the state that you need to be at in order to move forward, especially in... I'm feeling it has to do with, like, your soul's journey, you know what I mean? So that way you're not feeling triggered by either current events, or there's something about, like, you're going through a process of, like... I was like, it's not turmoil, but it's, like, change. And so it's kind of like, I literally see it like you're cranking the wheel, and so it's like, it's kind of like you're trying to get things going, but it feels like you have to, like, constantly give it a little effort, and then constantly, and then it's like, it swings back and forth, and so I don't know if maybe sometimes you have, like, mood swings, or there's something that, like, right now you're really learning to kind of, like, ground your energy and your vibe, and I think what would really be beneficial to you, is literally imagining yourself, like, sitting in a container, right? Because there could also be some healing in the divine masculine energy. I don't know why that was really annoying me all of a sudden. Are you very sensitive, M? Because there's just something about your energy here that you need, like, divine masculine energy integrated to create a container for this energy, right? Because if you're sitting there trying to externalize that containment, then people are going to be pushing you around and then it's going to be overflowing, right? So, like, what I'm literally imagining is, imagine when you're feeling really, really full or emotional, that you're sitting in that cup, right? That there is enough around you that's protecting you to be able to hold yourself and hold everything in your space, right? Because right now, it kind of feels like you're freaking out because you're like, oh, this thing's happening, whatever, I need a person, or I need this, and I need this, and it's like, you have everything you can to maintain these dynamics, and to maintain what's going on, but it's kind of like being like, my energy right now is all over the place and whatever, but then I'm looking around me and I'm like, I'm sitting in a house that is containing me right now. Even though, yes, I could be freaking out about mental stuff, if I detach from my mental self, there's nothing happening around me, right? I'm literally, like, if I went outside, there would be wind hitting me, there could be rain, there could be people, there could be whatever. But since I am inside, I have a container around me, right? So all those things should not be impacting me, right? And so that's the kind of metaphor I'm getting for you, is literally work on creating that container around yourself, because, like, you have it, you're just not able to connect with it, and it causes you to kind of, like, freak out, and then that's when that gear thing, because, like, I don't know if that's, like, a metaphor for, like, your brain, or the way you're going about life is, like, it just constantly jerks around, because it's just, like, you gotta oil the grease a little bit. You gotta oil it and get it used to it, and then also maybe check to see if there is, like, any imbalances, or maybe, like, are you eating enough, are you doing whatever, but, like, definitely right now, there's just something about, like, integrating divine masculine energy in your field in a way that, like, holds the space and holds the energy for you, okay? And also remember, you're royal, you know what I mean? Put your crown on, being like, okay, how much is this actually impacting me? How much is this impacting other people? And then coming back inside and then reconciling between the two. You know, because I think, like, you focus a lot on how your words and emotions are impacting other people instead of focusing on, like, well, what about me? There's no energy left for me. Because it's literally like spilling the water out and then expecting the water to come back in the cup. It's like, no, the water just, like, again, the cup analogy, it starts in the cup, it creates, and then it overflows. Which, I'm so glad I did this reading, because that is a really great metaphor I need to use for my clients and to remind myself. Okay, yeah, well, I hope that helps you, Em. Okay. Alright. So let me see. Did the bot come in and let y'all know that the reading was over? Hi, Disclout. Hello. I'm glad you got your reading in there. Okay. Cool. It says, hello, my name is Nina. Hi, Nina. Hello. Would I regret asking Theodore to spend time with me? We haven't spoken in a year, and there's no true contact, as it's only through social media. The last time we spoke was about hanging out. However, it never worked out for either of us. Here's my question. Oh, yay, the bot worked. Woohoo. Here's my question to you. Yeah, immediately the music doesn't bother me anymore. So yeah, you're definitely sensitive, Em. Pay attention to your body, because, like, that was literally, like, I was like, how could the wind impact M? And then I was like, well, seeing my struggles with sensitivity, I totally get it. And it's kind of like when you're just used to constantly being bombarded, you just turn everything off and you're like, fuck it, I don't know what's happening. It doesn't matter what meds I take, I don't know what... You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, but anyways, back to Nina. My first question is, why are you choosing the word regret? Before I choose your card, there's something about, like, your question that I was kind of like, I mean, why would you anticipate something bad happening? You know? I think that's, like, I guess the reason I'm asking, because it feels like setting yourself up for failure when it's like, okay, if you only met or were talking online, then why not go for it? And it sounds like they were open to it. Thank you, it did. No problem. Yeah, I'm only saying just because, like, I want you to have confidence in yourself and your self-worth, Nina, and I'm kind of like, why would you regret it when, like, is there something about him that you're already anticipating it? Like, I just want to get that clarification to be like, is it you not feeling confident in yourself, or is it because you're kind of like, this person might have an energy that some piece of me is trying to tell me otherwise? Given the time, I feel like it's too late to try still. No. No. I would say absolutely not with that. But I will pull your card. But yeah, I'd say go for it. Alright, so which... You know what I'm actually gonna do? I have a yes, no, or maybe card deck. I'm gonna get that out for you. So speaking of other new tarot decks and stuff, I can cry to random things. Oh gosh, girl, do you do any, like, psychic protection and stuff like that? Like, you gotta be careful, because, like, you're very open, and I think that's why you're freaking out. I'm only saying this because, like, yeah, I deal with the same thing. Alright, so, okay, Nina, let me see, would you, like, how about this? We'll rephrase it to the universe. Would it be beneficial to Nina if she reaches out to this person? Alright. Let's see. Okay. Cool. So we got no. Your higher self knows best. Deep down, you already know this isn't right for you. Honor your inner wisdom and move on. Okay. Alright. I don't know him that well either, so it's a shot in the dark. Yeah, that's true. But to me, I feel like even if it's like a year later, I don't know. I've had dudes reach out to me like many years later and whatnot, and it's kind of like if they had a positive memory interaction with you, then you'd probably be okay. You know what I mean? It's like, think of it this way, like if someone was already having a good vibe with you, then yeah, great. But if they were kind of just like, it's not like it's going to kill you socially to reach out. It will if you, like, reach out multiple times or don't understand a no. But if it's kind of just like, it fizzled out and then you want to come back around, I think that's fine as long as you're confident. You know what I mean? And saying, like, hey, I had a really great time talking to you last time. Would you be open to talking again? That would be the energy that would make it not awkward, you know? I just say have confidence in yourself. You seem like, I already like your energy, so I'm just kind of sitting there being like, hey, so like, like, I'm just like, he's missing out on you, okay? I'm reframing that mindset, you know? Like, yeah. So, just cheering you on. I don't do any of that. Oh, yeah, you should definitely consider doing that, Em. At some point, like right now, I'm working on creating a lot of content. So for those of y'all that are not aware, I have a blog and a website that I'm developing. My website's already out there, but my blog, I've got all of these different topics I want to discuss and write about, and I'm at this point now where I have so much, like, stuff I want to talk to people about, and things that I'm just going to record videos of me talking about it and sharing my experiences rather than write blogs, because I can't type fast enough. So my next mission is I'm going to do my live streams, but then I'm going to have my pick-a-card readings and YouTube videos, and then I'm going to have videos of me talking about different things. You know, so it's literally me just kind of sitting here being like, hey, by the way, Em, you know, did you know that if you start working and clearing out your 9th chakra, you can actually really come back down? And a lot of ADHD symptoms can be helped managed if you also do some spiritual stuff as well. I'm only saying it because it's worked with me, and it worked with clients as well. Because when you're just so hypersensitive and aware, like, you can't ground into your body because pieces of you are still floating up in the ether from whatever caused you in your childhood to pop out. So, Yeah. A lot of my experience with spirituality and doing all this different stuff is literally from me being like, oh, hey, I was helping a client one day and I channeled something from a reading, and then I was like, I should do that. And then I did it. And then it helps me out. You know what I mean? So, because we book pay those readings through Hypesy. So if you wanted like a private session with me, I have on my website, I use something called, what's it called? Setmore. Right? I'll put links to my website. And here's the thing too, like right now I've been offering, because I want reviews on my Setmore, I'm offering people, like 15-minute free sessions or half-hour sessions, depending on what you need, just because I just want a review. But if you want to do like an ongoing working on certain things, I absolutely can set up payment plans or different things like that. But yeah, I'll show you. Ah! One of my hairs went into my eyeball. God, that was kind of weird. I hope my face wasn't too weird. Yeah. Yeah, I just use Hypesy for the live streams, because what was happening is when I was doing my lives like every single Friday, what was happening was I had like 18 people showing up every single week, and I had to hope that someone was moderating it, and then I was getting asked over and over and over again, and there was no way to like track it. And I want the opportunity for people to either pay me or have a free reading. You know what I mean? But do it in a way that's like a little more systemic. And then again, because I like having the bots and stuff being able to feed in there, it can work across platforms. So yeah, it's a little over the top. I'm still testing it out. But yeah, anything that's like more like traditional, like either like, oh, you have a different payment option or whatever, Setmore can basically cover all that stuff too. Yeah, but yeah, I usually do stuff online now. Yeah. And then I'm also finally getting certified in Reiki in the next couple of months. So that's why I've kind of not been super gung-ho about going into creating all the YouTube videos, because I'm working on it. It's just I have a giant move coming in July, and so I'm just kind of pacing myself to be like, okay, I'll take on onesie-twosie clients, you know, whatever you guys want to work on and whatever, and then eventually I'm going to start scaling it, because I need a pattern, because right now 9 to 5 is not working for me, and I just want to help people. I just want to talk about things, and yeah, and I now have all this really cool podcasting equipment and stuff, so yeah. Yeah, it's super cool. And we got like a weird like programming music in the background. Oh, what time is it? Okay, it's 8. Yeah. I can do it live here, I don't mind. Okay, yeah, sure. In that case, I mean, do you want like a card reading, or do you want like, because right now I'm just set up for readings, but like actual like energy healing or like private consultations and stuff like that, I do that one-on-one, because I try to do like confidentiality, and then I also do, with energy work, with your body, I need to be able to focus on your specific energy and like not have like the collective energy around. Only because I'm only saying it's not that I can't channel your energy, it's just that there's a lot of other things floating around, and usually like spiritually for live streams I'm in a different mode. If that makes sense, because like usually like remotely channeling someone's body energy, I can do it. I just don't want to be distracted by like looking at the chat and stuff. Okay. Hey Andre, hey, I hope things are going okay for you. Yeah, I think, you were looking... Did you ever get, housing assistance? I think that was what we were talking about last time, right? Yeah, because you're from Illinois, right? Sorry I missed your Zoom meeting. Did we schedule one? Yeah, because I never saw anything pop up, so I assumed that you were busy or whatever, because that's fine. Yeah, whenever you want to schedule, just let me know. I have everything through, Setmore on my website. Lafayette, Indiana, but no, they told me I had to wait till next month to reapply. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I didn't stream last week, which that's for y'all that want to come back. I am trying to commit to a schedule of doing a live stream every other Friday. So I published the schedule on my YouTube channel, so you guys can pencil it in if you want something. I also found out what's cool about Hypesy is apparently you can offer discounts if you try to ask for a paid reading ahead of time, for a live, which I was that's super cool. But yeah, there's all kinds of different stuff, and I'm pretty flexible with people right now because I have I'm just trying to get things steady. But yeah, I'm more than happy to help too. Super strange. The camera I'm watching on is still showing the old camera and not my face, so I'm okay, whatever. Alright. If you have the time and energy to do a reading for me, I would be grateful of. Absolutely! Okay, do you want to do a yes or no question, or would you just a normal, usual thing? Okay, alright, here's what I'll do. I will pull a card for you, Andrea. And let's see what it says. Okay. Okay, interesting. So, let me go ahead and shift my camera. Okay, cool. Alright, so we've got wasting resources, not using your resources or not using them efficiently. You have all the tools and resources to advance in life, but you need to use them more effectively to open new opportunities and manifest more money. Okay, so there's something about... One sec, I want to visualize the energy going on in your path. Because I kind of see, like... Have you been having some tummy trouble lately? Or there's something going on where I'm seeing you in a loop where it gets you sidetracked from something important that you're supposed to be doing. Because it's kind of like, and I know that in your personal situation, you know, there's a lot of other people coming in and trying to distract you, and I don't know if it's maybe, I do feel like while that energy is distracting, I feel like learning to kind of emotionally detach a little bit, or just really try to focus on, with the wasting resources, that's where like kind of my... It's buffering? Are you able to heal me? Or hear me? Wow. I've been single for a while and I wanted a love reading. Oh, I'm so sorry, Em. Did I do the wrong reading for you? Okay, no, I just saw you did like a gender or a general thing. Jesus. I don't know what's going on with my brain here. I was like, Depression, better now. Okay, cool. Cool. Awesome. Okay, but yeah, in terms of like wasting resources, yeah, making sure that you're very specific with your time and energy. It feels like it's not so much financial, but I feel like because your energy gets so drained by the toxicity of others, but then also like what you're focusing on, it really like hurts your ability to build back, right? So for example, like trying to prioritize certain healthy foods that your body needs. So like I'm seeing like either like making sure you choose healthy options that are healthy for you specifically. So say for example, if someone says like, oh, well, this is healthy, it may not necessarily be in alignment for you. So it's like you taking the time to sit and check in with yourself saying like, okay, what does my body need right now? And so you're like, I'm actually craving sweet potato, for example. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go get myself some sweet potato if I can, you know, or like trying to like allow yourself to kind of create space and really start to learn to empower yourself in a way to say like, hey, if I can't do this, then I won't do this. You know, because there's a certain point where, especially like with depression, I know it's hard. You have to set certain boundaries within yourself that are both compassionate but firm, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like saying, okay, if I'm too depressed to do this today, then I'll compromise and say I need to do this. You know? So here's an example of that. It would be like, all right, I really need to do laundry today, but I'm too depressed to do laundry. So you're like, okay, well, here's what I'll do instead is if I don't have the energy to do laundry, that involves how many tasks with that? That's including getting the, sorry, I don't know why am I distracted like this energy? Jeez. I think it's because there's a lot going on here, and I should grab my grounding rock. Okay, because I also saw your message, M, and I'm like, okay, yeah. You want to pay for one? Okay, yeah, cool. If you want to pay for one, you can go ahead into Hypesy and do that then. That's fine. I thought you meant like you wanted like something outside of the live, so that's fine. I thought you meant like an energy session, but love reading, absolutely go for it. Okay. So, I wonder if I was channeling you, M, because I was literally sitting there going like, oh, hi! And then it was like, Jeez. That's on me, sorry. But anyways, back to you, Andrea. Yeah, literally making sure that... Oh yeah, so here's the example I was using. So say you need to do your laundry. You have to pick up the laundry out of your laundry basket, gather it based off of if it's in a basket or not, take it over to your washer, put stuff in the washer, close it, and then you have to get yourself back up and after a certain point of time, remove it and then move it to the dryer, or hang it outside, whatever you do, and then you have to take that out, fold it, and then put it away. That is a lot of energy for someone who is depressed, right? So the way I would mentally look at that is I would say, okay, what are all the different tasks involved with that whole process? Break it down into what is the most draining thing. So say, for example, maybe you're like, I don't mind taking the laundry out of the basket and putting it into the dryer. It's just that I end up forgetting about it, and then it gets moldy, and then it goes bad, and then blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, that's like an example, whether it be food or whatever your thing is. You'd say, okay, so the hard part for me is not the putting it in there or remembering to do it. It's just after it's been in the washer for so long because I lose energy. That's what the issue is. So, yeah, so it's kind of like learning to identify small ways of reclaiming that energy to say, okay, instead of maybe doing laundry, you know, this way, I could either ask someone to help me, you know, so like you said, you have your daughter, so you could have your daughter say, hey, let's fold laundry together and watch a movie. You know, that would be a great way to say, hey, we're still spending time together, and it's also helping mom out because she's depressed, you know, because if her laundry's in there too, then it's a great way to be like, hey, we're both contributing to what we need to have going on, you know? So it's like learning to identify small ways to lessen your burden, because what happens with depression is everything compounds on itself. So 1 minute you're tired, and then, okay, I couldn't take care of this thing, so then this thing fell apart, and then you were too tired, and then it compounds and compounds and compounds and compounds. So then you're not able to take care of the thing that would help you get you out. So that's why you have to address it in small little dosages and then watch your energy level. And so that's where I was wasting resources. It's kind of like saying like, okay, what is actually my priority right now? And then how do we also shift our priorities from our lack mindset, right? Because understanding that even if you're super depressed and you don't have any money, I'm saying this from personal experience, what happens is you get in a cycle of anytime you have money, you spend it on basic care, and then it all goes away, and then you don't have the money, and then you're constantly like, oh gosh, I'm depressed and I don't have money, and then it turns into a lopsided thing, right? So the easiest way to help curb a lot of this and reclaim your power slowly and gently is to literally be like, okay, what do I have right now with whatever I can cope with, right? Then you look at what is required for that. So again, since you have a place that you're staying, right, you can say, all right, since I have access to shelter, these are the things I do have access to. What are ways that I can do self-care right now? So, for example, like, one common thing when I was depressed is, like, literally wrapping yourself in a warm blanket, like, throw a blanket in a dryer and say, okay, I had a long, rough day, and it's at night, and I'm tired, and I'm very, very depressed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a blanket in a dryer, get it all nice and warm, and then I'm going to wrap myself in it. You know, doing small little things as a form of self-care that don't involve spending money is a really great exercise to help with curbing that depression and trying to give yourself little rewards, as well as also with wasting resources, learning what actually is what you need in this moment. You know what I mean? Because, like, for example, if you've got one major pain point, right, which you're like, I need to move out, right? That's your major pain point. However, but then you get stuck in that pain point and then you drop the balls in the other areas, right? That's how depression works. So learning to be like, all right, I'm going to devote maybe 20 minutes to me feeling depressed and focused on this problem here. Then after 20 minutes, because I literally do this with a timer. I literally sit there and I say, okay, I have 20 minutes. And then I go, okay, stop, pick up, ask myself a question. What other thing I need to do right now? And then you go like, I don't know. Then you go, okay, then let's write down a list of everything that I need to do every single day. And that's the thing too, is if at any point in time you're feeling like depressed where you can't come up with anything, usually like, you know, you can shake or again, do the warm blanket model, because I'm sorry, you can't be super depressed when you're in a warm blanket. Like it will lift your mood up a little bit. And then also too, there's somatic exercises you can do as well for comforting, because when you start training your body saying, hey, I'm upset right now, but I'm actually here with you, holding you, that makes a huge difference to your body that signals to your brain that you're not doing this alone anymore. Because right now, you're carrying a lot, right? And so being able to show support to yourself will help you get the strength to then build up. And so again, just with spending, try to find your goals, set your limits and boundaries around it, and really prioritize, you know? And then also too, consider your energy and time just as sacred as energy, or as money, okay? Yeah. Oh, and then another thing too, Andrea, I'm going to be posting some blog posts at some point about, like, with depression and stuff like that, and some different coping ideas. One thing that I was writing up, I need to go ahead and publish it because I'm pretty close to having it done. I have a blog post that is about depression meals. So basically, like, when you're, like, so depressed that you can't take care of yourself, here are meals that I did when I was, like, super, like, down in the dumps and couldn't, like, do anything. It was, like, come home, cry for 3 hours until I fell asleep, and then woke up, didn't feel like eating, but I maybe found something, and then went back to sleep, and then started work again. It was, like, that level of bad. So when I say, like, I've done a lot of different ways of trying to get out of depression, this list is just some stuff that I use to help me, because there's dealing with the physical aspect, and then there's the mental aspect, and then there's the spiritual aspect. So even if you try to take a stab at one of them, even shifting your energy in that direction helps change the cycle. You know what I mean? It's just, you try small ones, and then you go, hey, you did a good job today. Hey, you did this. And, you know, and I am proud of you, because, like, you know, you're still trying to keep optimistic, you're still trying to do your best, and that's what is really important, you know? That's what you're trying to do, and I know it's rough and hard, and you've been praying about it, and you're gonna get what you need. Just, you know, have faith and, you know, keep holding yourself together, okay? You can do it. I'm cheering you on, Andrea. Okay, let me see if... Okay, sorry, I didn't see your, message. My daughter wants to go out and do stuff, but I don't have any money for what she wants to do. Yeah, I mean, that's something that you may need to have a hard adult conversation with her. And like I said, you know, when it came to, like, the laundry idea, you can say, hey, if you want to go out and do stuff together, you know, the park is free, there are different things that you can do, and say, like, could we spend time together, because we can support each other, you know? Yeah. Okay, Andrea, and let me know, too, because I think we had talked about housing stuff, and getting you connected with some resources, or at least finding you a social worker, that can maybe talk you through some stuff and help you with your dynamic, okay? Sending you all the best! Okay. Cool, alright. You are up. Okay, so you wanted a love reading. So, what is coming for me in love? Okay. Alright. Let me get some water, and then I'm going to do your reading, Em. Because I want to make sure, like, whatever is clouding up my energy, I want to sit and drink something. Okay, cool. I am back. I needed food. That's what it was. I was like, alright. Okay. Okay, so this is how my love readings tend to work. Where, and confirm if this is something that you want, because I can try to adjust what I can. Because what I typically do with love readings is, because the future is indefinite, and there's a lot of things going on, what I tend to do is I focus on the patterns that are currently occurring in your love life and things like that. And then I'm going to show you what you are manifesting as a result of those patterns, and what's going to come as a result of that current pattern. So, if you shift that pattern or something changes, then the future changes. I always say that disclaimer because it's kind of like, I don't want, like, future type readings to be like, oh my gosh, this is definitely going to happen, because I know people that are very psychic and have a lot of foresight, right? Mine, it changes. It's kind of weird. But I very much am a firm believer in identifying those patterns of what's going on, and then what's drawing in certain types of frequency. So say, for example, if you're like, hey, I want to know what's coming to me, or what's coming my way. And then, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to do the reading. And I'm just giving you the disclaimer about that's kind of how the reading's going to roll. And then it's going to make a little bit more sense. Alright, one sec. Okay. That's what's happening. Alright, yeah. That's what's happening. Okay. Okay, so what is going on with M's current energy? What are they manifesting? And then what is the advice? I'm going to switch to... Oh, good. It's on the right camera. Alright, so... Yes, okay. Do do do. Do 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 do. I feel like this music is so like great, like elevator music. I guess that's the right word. Do you struggle with anxiety, Em? I'm kind of sitting here like, why are you getting anxious? I'm just sitting here thinking like, I was like, oh, okay, we're introducing a loving frequency, and there's like, oh my gosh, and I was just like, whoa, like, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I just feel like you're very spiritually open, and that's why I'm kind of like, whoa, like, because I guess how I tend to channel is I'm like, all right, I sit in your energy field and I look at how you view things and try to figure out, I go from like inside out. So then I'm like, whoa, like, how do I even interpret that? So, and this is why I use cards to keep me on track. Okay, so this is where you're currently at energy-wise. And what's going on with your energy. So we've got mean girls gossiping about you, okay? We have necessary lessons. In order to grow and evolve, you must unveil important lessons. Only through experiences can you achieve higher states of consciousness and understanding, including learning through obstacles and challenges. Trust it will all make sense in the end. Okay. And then test stands out to me. We got half-hearted effort. When you don't give your all, you get stuck in mediocrity. Start unleashing your full potential. Put in 100% effort, and you'll soon see the rewards of your efforts come to fruition. Interesting. We have the creator, or this is the magician. Can you feel me when I think about you? Okay. My mind is full of you. Ha! Mind over mania. I was hearing that. Okay. I want you now. Kiss me. Spontaneous, reckless adrenaline. I had to choose someone else. Lack of choice, missing you, no contact. Okay. So the good news is what I'm seeing about your love life right now is you've been doing the work, right? Like, you've definitely been trying your best to be like, okay, I'm trying to make better decisions for me. With the creator, it's telling me that your current energy is really, like, you're kind of inspired right now. Like, you're really trying to figure out, like, you're trying on different hats, or there's something about, like, you're now more open to things and I would say open. It's more of like you're seeing things in a different light, but it's a different light in the sense that now it can work in your favor. So say, for example, you had like an ex-partner and something went on between the two of you. Now you're reflecting back on it, and instead of being like, oh man, like, I didn't know what I was doing or whatever, and sometimes you can be like, but then part of you is also like, well, I guess, but now I can choose how I think about that. Like, before, you didn't believe you had a choice in your behavior. With the gossiping about you, there's some kind of, like, a trust issue, I feel like, with people. Like, for some reason, I was getting mean girl energy. I was sitting there going, like, were you picked on or something? Because specifically, there's kind of, like, a shut-down energy where you're afraid to be seen. Because I kind of see, like, with these girls, like, laughing at this, whatever they're seeing online, it's kind of like, it gives me this energy that part of what's holding you back in your love life is you're so terrified and petrified of someone making fun of you, or somebody, like, looking at you, and instead of just saying, oh no, thank you, they're like, oh my gosh, you know. And there's just some kind of, like, test or lesson that I think you're struggling with that I don't think you're fully conscious of. That's what I'm kind of feeling. Because, like, for me, I was like, on the surface, I'd say, no, that's not you. But I think, like, with the I want you now, kiss me energy, it's kind of feeling like you want to have the experience of being this lady, being this person that's like, okay, you know what? I can go out on the town. I can go and do those things. I can, like, I want to be out there, and I just don't care. You know, I want to be free of me judging myself or trauma or whatever, because, like, to me, I was like, it's not even your trauma that's holding you back. It's more so just, like, this fear, you know? Yeah, I was told no one will love a girl like me, and I worry I could never trust again. Oh my gosh, that's so awful! Oh, no, I'm sending you a big hug, Em. Absolutely not. That's so not cool. And it's also fundamentally not true. You know what I mean? Because, like, to me, like, you have such a big, beautiful heart, and, yeah, with, like, this half-hearted effort, it's kind of like, that would make sense why you're not putting as much energy into certain things, because, like, with a wound like that could shut anybody down, you know? And, like, again, with my mind is full of you, it's kind of like, you stay trapped in your head with your thoughts and feelings and emotions, but then for some reason, and I only take this as this resonates, but, like, do you sense other people's energies when people think about you? Or, like, for example, maybe if you had, like, an ex-partner, like, what you can do sometimes is you're like, I wonder, I was thinking of so-and-so, and then I ran into them, or, like, I was just getting this weird feeling that, you know, someone was upset over losing me, or whatever. You know what I mean? Do you get any of that? Because I do feel like you're sensitive to other people, and maybe you're not recognizing that it's not your energy, or I do feel like you ruminate wondering about, do other people think about you the way that you think about them, in that absence. So there's definitely like an abandonment wound here to maybe address with a therapist or some whatever healing modality you want to thing, but definitely like that abandonment thing. That's like, and this, oh my gosh. You were treated so poorly, and I'm like, I'm going to try not getting mad because then my energy is going to get in the reading. Because I'm like, every single time I see this stuff, I get heated over it. And then I had to choose someone else. Yeah, so I feel like this is telling me right now, your current energy is like, you are downplaying your strengths. You are not choosing you, you're choosing what because you've given this person or people so much power in your life, you no longer choose you. You know what I mean? Like, you're literally at a point where you're just like, well, it's never going to get better. I can't deal with this or cope with this because this is so painful. So now I'm just always going to choose something else. I'm going to choose something that's not authentic for me, that's not life-fulfilling, because I'm like, well, I have goals, right? I have goals with my love partners, instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this person, and then people are like, why? And I'm like, I'm just in love with this person. And then, like, for you, you're at this point where you're just like, love isn't real, or some concept of it is, but like, I just want to find my person and deal with this. And Spirit's literally just being like, you gotta embody this first a little bit, because your problem right now with love isn't that you're unlovable or you're doing something wrong. It's because you're not choosing you first. You gotta feel like this before you start attracting this. Because men know, I'm assuming you're attracted to men, and even if you're attracted to women, like, people know when you're feeling down. They can feel it in your energy, right? And so giving yourself permission to be this desirable, sexy, badass that's inside of you, no offense, it's inside of you. I'm seeing you literally being like, if you could erase that whole experience, you'd be out here having a grand old time, right? And you'd be like, me? And I'm like, yeah, you. Because you know what? The one thing that I've learned as an adult is I have found that there is a woman for every man under the sun. It does not matter how horrible and nasty you think you look, there is still a dude that would still be into you. And I know that's really hard to say, because everyone's like, no, that's not true. And I'd be like, the sheer range of my experiences with people, right? Because I attract many different kinds of people, and I've had friends with people that I was like, I would never expect them to have multiple sugar daddies in their DMs. Like, if you're a thick girl, there are lots of gym dudes into thick girls, right? If you're a skinny mini girl, princess, there's guys for that. There's all kinds of people. Hell, there's women, right? So even if you don't swing that way, going into spaces where someone can see you and appreciate your vibe and radiance, it doesn't even have to be sexual energy. It's just about that love to be like unlovable. I mean, shit. You know, whoever that person was probably dinged a different wound, and that's why that got all clumpy. But when you start saying, like, actually, someone like that is absolute horseshit and doesn't deserve my energy or that much control over me, that's when you're going to start going and having a good time. Okay, now we're going to focus on the energy that you are manifesting as a result of where you're at right now, and then I have advice from Spirit, okay? Yeah, no, don't put you aside. You know what I mean? That's exactly why you have to start choosing you. You know, literally every single day. Like, if this doesn't work for you, fine, but this is what I'm being channeled to say. Literally find a image of, like, if you could have, like, the dream older sister. You know what I mean? Or, like, if you had, like, a celebrity that would be your glam girl coach, or, you know, ideal companion friend that would be hyping you up every day. Clip out a picture of them, put a photo of that person in your mirror, and I want you to talk to her every single time you're feeling down. And then think about, what would that celebrity say to you? And that's why you have to pick someone who would seem like they are your friend, right? Because, like, for example, think of Billie Eilish, right? Could you, like, if you were sitting there saying that you were unlovable, would Billie Eilish say, yeah, you're right, No, it's fucking Billie Eilish. She'd be like, actually, though, you did look pretty cute in those sweatpants. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you gotta do, but, like, literally having a physical image of somebody living their best life and not giving a fuck will motivate you, and try to connect it back to yourself. Okay? Because that's part of the healing work, is when someone takes that power away from our ability to love ourselves. We are taught that. We organically love ourselves. So all that you're doing is literally retraining it and bringing it back to who you actually are. Other people cover it up because then they can't have control over you. You know? So when you do that, again, having that image of that person that is safe, but is also undeniably, like, not caring about who and what they are, then it doesn't matter, and then you can embody that energy, because you just need reminders of yourself. And slowly, similar to how I was talking to Andrea about it, gradually introducing the reminders of that version of you. Because again, I'm not lying, this is you on the inside. You just need to give yourself the conditions around it. So, alright, I have one more thing, but I want to make sure I'm moving forward, because I'm like, I could talk about this stuff forever. But specifically, like, you know, when it comes to, like, sex work, or anybody who is doing the kind of work where you're in the business of making people feel good, right? You make money based off of other people having a good time, right? And I've had to work as a bartender, working in the music industry, working in these different areas. That's the whole deal, is literally people pay you money to forget about their problems and have a good-ass time, right? And so at the end of the day, when you're doing that, everybody likes those people because they remind them of the confidence that they wish to have. But they already have it, right? That's why you like them. Because one of the things about attraction that's super cool about, like, friendships, love, any of that stuff, is you like people that are reflections of yourself, or things that you desire in yourself. So what you can do to empower yourself is to literally be like, okay, well, what are things I like? Okay, I really like to wear kinky dresses every once in a while. I wouldn't wear it to work, but you know what I'm going to do? When the kid's in bed, and I have, like, my nice little mom time at night, watching a nice, like, steamy movie or something like that, I'm going to sit and wear my sexy dress. And I'm going to eat some chocolate-covered strawberries after work. And I was like, and it's going to be you planning a date just for you. And it's going to be fucking hard at first, because you're going to go, damn, no one's ever treated me that way. And then you go, yeah. But you know what happens? This happens to a lot of fucking women. It's kind of disgusting. And so when you get rid of the shame and the power of people in your past telling you who you can and can't be, that's when you end up in this such empowered state where you're just kind of like, oh, it had nothing to do with me. If I can do that for me, I don't need to be chosen by somebody else, because now I'm seeing how dusty they are. You know what I mean? Because it's like, think of, like, your best friend. You'd be like, why the hell are you listening to this person who peaked in high school? You know? And it really has nothing to do with you if you still feel hurt about it. Because those wounds are ingrained in our brain. You know, that has nothing to do with you personally. Without further ado, we're going to get into what you're manifesting. Okay, so we have beginner syndrome. Dreading the beginner phase stops you from getting to a higher level. Remember that every beginner grows into an expert with enough practice and perseverance. The only way to grow is to let yourself make mistakes. Yeah, so that's kind of the journey you're on, is you're manifesting you trying to walk and talk in a different light, because you've learned from the past, okay, I don't want this type of person, I'm not going to show up this way, and I want to avoid these types of people. Great. So treat yourself like you're a beginner. Is literally, you are literally transforming into a new version of you and reclaiming energy. So instead of being like, dang, I suck at this, you're like, well, hey, you actually have experience, and now you are taking the reins at something that you haven't been able to for a while. So that's being a beginner, right? Blocked heart chakra. May experience emotional issues like anger, lack of trust, jealousy, and fear. To heal your heart chakra It may be time to do some shadow work or any other heart healing practice to help you feel courageous enough to open your heart to others once again. Yeah, so to me, what I'm seeing is you're gonna go on a bit of a healing journey for a while before you can kind of like feel really settled in your body. Because I think, and by a while, it's gonna take over a year to really get to your like true self. I'm feeling like in order to manifest somebody that's like a potential like long-term partner, at least 2 to 4 years, somewhere in that range. However, it's going to be okay because by that point, you're going to be in a much stronger, healthy state that you're not going to have the same rush because you're going to be having a lot more, you're going to feel way more fulfilled, so it's not going to feel like this impending doom thing. Because I think you're honest with yourself and you're realistic about when it's coming. And so that's why it's kind of like there's like that 2 to 4 year threshold because it's going to depend on your choices that you make. Because, again, with blocking the heart chakra, you know, your spirit guide team wants you to manifest someone that is good for you and is in alignment with you. But in order to do that, unblocking some of that old stuff is it's gonna hurt. And you're gonna go through some times of, like, especially when you're feeling that rejected and given up, you have to face the anger. You have to face the lack of trust. And accepting that that's who you are right now is almost even harder than trying to heal from it. Because we all want to be, like, feeling super good all the time. Or being like, well, if I just do XYZ healing thing, then I'm going to be okay. And it's like, well, no. If you have gone through something where you don't trust yourself or you're... Like, I'm sorry, saying someone's unlovable is, like... That is so hard. Yeah, okay, so then we have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, so I'm seeing you being still in your mental space, right? So, because Queen of Swords, that's all, like, air energy, that's very, like, in your head. So what ends up happening is you are going to be finding more balance between your logic mind. It's just, you will struggle a bit with trying to think your way through your feelings instead of feeling them. So that's why I will say either try therapy or somatic healing. Anything, or do some yoga, exercises, anything to kind of be like, okay, what should love feel like in my body? You know? Okay, so we got the Six of Coins. So I see you going on dates after a while, right? So I see you kind of shifting into this idea of like, okay, I'm going to focus on me, right? And healing on me, which you've been doing, right? And so then with the Six of Coins, that's all about generosity and giving to others, right? So I see with these dates, like, you kind of talking to people, you having a good time, but like, I see you needing to get out of the tendency to spend money on other people, or to give to other people, right? Because you're a mom, right? Sorry about that. Yeah, and so, like, what'll happen is, like, and that's gonna take some time, you know, but it is gonna take some energy away from you finding love, because then you're gonna start attracting mama's boys, you know what I mean? And so that's why Spirit's kind of reminding you and teaching you to say, like, hey, give and take is just as important as you being generous, right? And so, as part of your dating, learn to sit back and let someone spoil you a little bit. Let someone come in and put some money in your pocket, you know? And you might be thinking, like, man, no one's going to do that to me. I'll be like, when you start showing up with that sexy woman energy I was showing you earlier, you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. The less control you try to have, the more it's going to come in. And, you know, especially, like, when you really sit in your feminine and you're really just open and just being like, yay! You know, like, that's when all of that, like, people love to come and spend money on people who are happy. I see it all the time. We have Ace of Cups. Okay, so that's a really positive sign, love-wise, is I feel like your heart's going to learn to be full again, right? You're going to be going through a lot of, like, cleansing and clearing, and I think you're going to realize you have a lot more love in store for you than you realize. Yeah, I do think you're going to get into a relationship with somebody. I feel like it's going to be for a couple months, and then it's not going to work out, but you're not going to feel like it's a disaster, if that makes any sense. You're going to be like, okay, I mean, I can kind of see this not working out, but like the cool part about it is after you break up, though, you're going to notice that you don't feel as bad and downhearted about it, because you're going to go, oh, I actually have, since I've been doing the work, I'm actually not broken. And if anything, you kind of like learn more lessons and open it up. And again, it feels like someone that you're just like kind of dating, not anybody like serious, you know? So, yeah. And you're going to sit there and be like, I wonder if this is my person. And it's like, well, wait and see and find out, you know? Because again, all of these are based off of choices. We have, I'm attracted to you in ways I cannot explain. Okay, so that's another thing, is like when you go on this path of learning how to identify ways that you are attractive, I think that's when you're going to learn about your own personal magic, right? Because sometimes attractiveness does not need to be defined. You know, you don't need to be like, oh, well, because like some people are like, oh, great butt, great personality, great teeth, blah, blah, blah. Like those are very surface level things. If you learn to accept that there's attractiveness that you don't even pick up on, that makes life a whole lot more interesting. And it's also very real, because when we're feeling really down about ourselves, we can't manifest and view that. That's why we bring in partners and feel more connected by connecting with others, because they see those pieces in ourselves that we don't see ourselves. I'm not ignoring you, I just need to focus on myself right now. Yeah, I do feel like you are going to be telling some people no after a certain point. When you start really, like, again, getting into that sexy hot mama energy, I'm just saying, you're going to be like, okay. And that's another thing, too, is, like, making sure that you take breaks. Like, that is definitely something that Spirit's encouraging you to do, because I'm just seeing in your future, like, especially, like, when you start healing this heart chakra stuff, it's going to get hard to stop and take care of yourself, but you're going to need to do it. Because it will get hard a little bit, because it's going to be messy, you know, but then it's all good, you know what I mean? I thought grass was greener on the other side. Yeah, so you are going to be missing some stuff from your past. You are triggering my wounds, dysfunctional family, childhood traumas, yep, that's going to happen, which, that's normal, that's just part of the healing process. I'm dating multiple people right now. Yeah, so that's more confirmation about you dating multiple people. And just kind of being like, oh, okay. You know, owning your sexy mama. So, yeah, so that seems pretty positive in general. It's just kind of going through the healing phase. Which, ooh. Yeah. And the good part about this, too, is like you're doing all the right things. You're taking the right steps. You're taking initiative. It's just, again, you're starting again. You're a beginner at healing yourself, and view it as kind of like, now that you're a new version of you, after the bad thing happened, it's like rediscovering yourself. You know, because it's not like you went away, it's just you stopped looking at a version of yourself. So now you can be like, hey, now it's for a different version of me to come out to play. Okay, so here's the advice from Spirit to wrap up your reading. Sorry, this was much longer than 15 minutes, but it's been slow, and I wanted to talk to you about all this, because this is really cool. You have the Eight of Blades. Okay, so this card is Eight of Swords, which is all about us keeping ourselves trapped in our mental loops and whatever. So in reverse, Spirit is telling you to get out of your head, you know, and make sure that you are taking the time and energy to remind yourself of how are you holding yourself back in love. You know what I mean? And remember that at any point in time you can take the blindfold off and walk out of the swords. Okay? You just have to be courageous enough to do it. And then it's kind of like, again, ripping off a band-aid. It'll get better. It just kind of hurts because you don't know what's going to happen. Divine timing. Oh my gosh. Alright, we got no blocks exist. Just the timeline of your success is only up to you. Though things may be slow or frustrating or not make sense, divine timing assures you that the universe is placing people, things, lessons, and more into your life only when you are ready. Yeah. So basically, that to me is just more confirmation it's coming. You know what I mean? Spirit's like, hey, it's coming. We've got entitled, lives a privileged life, treats everyone like shit. Yeah, I think just, like, watch out for calling yourself this. You know what I mean? There's some kind of an energy of shame where, I don't know if you had, like, a parent figure or somebody that was telling you that you're spoiled or whatever when actually they were the ones that were neglecting you. And there's something about, like, don't call yourself entitled for having needs and standards. Right? Like, if you're a goddess, own it! Own it! Z snap. Oh, that's steamy. Okay. I escape my reality when I'm with you. Secret vacation, lovers, time off, phone off. Ooh. Yeah, definitely try activating your sexuality more. Explore some fantasies. Have a little fun. You know? Go read some steamy romances. It'll give you a little bit more insight into, like, what actually turns you on as opposed to, like, fantasy, you know? Like, try to actually, like, sit and be with your body, because there's, like, mental stimulation, and then there's, like, physically in your body. So, like, try to pay attention to, like, what dynamics are playing out. Because you can learn a lot about yourself. We belong together, and you feel like home. Okay? So that's another thing, too, is remind yourself that someone who's meant for you is going to feel like home, and you deserve them. And you got to remind yourself that all the time. Because you do. You deserve to have a great person, and you belong to be with them. Okay, I finished up your reading. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope for everyone else that was listening that resonated with y'all and helped you guys out, too. If the weird troll who was talking about butt stuff in my comments, I hope that helped you as well. Because, clearly you're a child and, I don't know, you've got some mommy issues that I can definitely, recommend talking to a therapist about. Okay. Alright, thank you so much for the donation. Okay, y'all, I am wrapping up my live stream tonight, so I will not be doing any more readings for tonight. However, I have my live stream schedule on my YouTube page, so make sure to check out when I'm going live next. It's usually going to be every other Friday this summer, so make sure you check me out, and I will see y'all next time. Take care, bye!